The mining station on Kepler 442b hummed with the steady rhythm of extraction equipment, its corridors filled with the acrid smell of processed minerals and recycled air. Nehal adjusted her environmental suit's filters as she made her way through the lower decks, her geological scanner beeping softly in her hand. The readings were unusual, trace elements that shouldn't exist on this barren world. "Adnan, are you seeing these mineral compositions?" She called through her comm unit, her voice crackling slightly through the interference. Her partner's voice came back immediately, tinged with curiosity. "The crystalline formations?" "Yeah, I'm picking up similar readings in Sector 7. Whatever's causing this isn't in our databases." Adnan was 3 levels below, working on the atmospheric processors that kept their small outpost habitable. He'd been Nihal's research partner for 2 years now, and she'd learned to trust his instincts about planetary anomalies. If he was concerned, she should be too. The beeping intensified as she rounded a corner into an unexplored section of natural caverns that connected to their mining tunnels. Her headlamp cut through the darkness, revealing walls that sparkled with an otherworldly luminescence. But it wasn't the minerals that made her stop dead in her tracks. Huddled in an alcove no bigger than a house cat was something that defied everything humanity knew about xenobiology. It looked like a dragon, not metaphorically, not approximately. It was exactly what human mythology had always imagined. Tiny iridescent scales caught the light, miniature wings folded against its back, and large intelligent eyes that reflected her headlamp like polished gemstones. The creature was clearly young, its proportions still soft and rounded with infancy. "Impossible," Nihal whispered, her scientific mind reeling. Dragons were fantasy, the stuff of human imagination. They couldn't exist, especially not on an alien world light years from Earth. The baby dragon, for that's what it undeniably was, lifted its head at the sound of her voice. Instead of fleeing or showing aggression, it made a soft, melodious sound that seemed almost like singing. Nihal's comm crackled. "Nihal, your bio readings just spiked." "Everything okay?" "Adnan," she said slowly, never taking her eyes off the creature. "You need to come to Sector 12, now, and bring the portable habitat unit." "What did you find?" "Something that's going to rewrite xenobiology textbooks." 20 minutes later, Adnan emerged from the access tunnel, portable equipment in tow. He took one look at the small dragon and dropped his gear. "That's not possible," he breathed. "That's what I said." Nihal had spent the intervening time observing the creature. It hadn't moved from its alcove, but it had continued its soft singing, and she was beginning to suspect it was trying to communicate. "Look at its behavior, Adnan. It's not acting like a wild animal. It's watching us, learning from us." As if responding to her words, the dragon carefully stood and took a hesitant step forward. Its tiny claws clicked against the stone, and it tilted its head in a distinctly curious gesture. Adnan knelt down slowly, extending his hand palm up. "Hey there, little one. We're not going to hurt you." The dragon's response was immediate and heartbreaking. It began to sing again, but this time the melody was different, sadder, more plaintive. It was the sound of loneliness, of a child crying for parents who would never come. "It's alone," Nihal realized. "Look around, no other signs of life, no nest, nothing. This little one is completely on its own." The dragon seemed to understand their conversation. It moved closer to Adnan's outstretched hand, and after a moment of hesitation, gently touched its snout to his palm. The contact sent visible ripples of bioluminescence across its scales. "It's beautiful," Adnan murmured. "And it trusts us." Over the following days, the dragon, whom they'd started calling Stella for the star-like patterns on her scales, began what could only be described as a determined campaign to win their affection. She would appear whenever they were working, offering small gifts, unusual crystals, perfectly shaped stones, even flowers from some hidden garden they hadn't discovered yet. When Nihal worked late analyzing samples, Stella would curl up nearby, providing a gentle, warm light that was easier on the eyes than the harsh station illumination. When Adnan struggled with a particularly stubborn piece of equipment, she would hover nearby, her soft humming somehow helping him focus. But it was more than just helpful behavior. Stella was learning human customs at an incredible rate. She began to mimic their gestures, their expressions, even attempting to form words with her unique vocal cords. Her first recognizable word was friend, spoken in a melodic tone that brought tears to both their eyes. "She's not just intelligent, Nihal told Adnan one evening as they watched Stella carefully arrange mineral samples in patterns that matched human mathematical sequences. She's empathically intelligent. She understands not just what we do, but why we do it. Adnan nodded, watching as Stella noticed his tired expression and gently nudged his coffee cup toward him with her snout. She's trying to take care of us. It's like she's decided we're her family now. The breakthrough came 2 weeks later. Stella had been acting strangely, more agitated than usual, constantly looking toward the deeper caverns. Finally, she grabbed Nehal's sleeve with her tiny claws and began pulling her toward the unexplored areas. She wants to show us something, Nehal realized. What they found changed everything. Deep in the caverns was a vast chamber filled with crystalline formations that weren't random geological features. They were technology. Ancient organic technology that pulsed with the same bioluminescent patterns as Stella's scales. It's a library, Adnan breathed, running his scanners over surfaces that responded to his touch with flowing scripts of light. Or maybe a memory vault. Stella moved to the center of the chamber and began to sing. This time, her voice resonated with the crystals, and suddenly the entire chamber came alive with images. The history of her people. Their connection to countless worlds, their role as guardians and guides to younger species. They had been dragons in the truest sense. Not the monsters of human mythology, but the wise, benevolent creatures those stories had forgotten. They had watched over developing civilizations, sharing knowledge, fostering growth until some cosmic catastrophe had scattered them across the galaxy. Stella was the last of her kind on this world, perhaps one of the last anywhere, and in humanity she had found something her people had always sought. A species with the potential for both great destruction and greater compassion. Beings who could choose to be more than their nature suggested. She's not trying to win our hearts, Nihal realized, tears streaming down her face as she understood the full scope of what they were witnessing. She's trying to save her people's legacy by entrusting it to us. Adnan reached out and gently stroked Stella's head as the last of the images faded. Then we'd better make sure we're worthy of that trust. Stella looked up at them both. Her ancient eyes filled with hope and love and began to sing again. Not the sad song of loneliness, but the joyful melody of family found and futures yet to be written. In the depths of an alien world, 3 unlikely friends had discovered something more precious than any mineral wealth. The knowledge that love and trust could bridge any gap, even the vast emptiness between species and stars.